This morning, the search for survivors in Texas, now a recovery effort. We have the latest.
And we're going to be seeing good conditions today, but we also will see some lower air quality. I'll have the full forecast, though, coming up.
Plus, all the Sunday fun. We've got your local events to help you plan your day. Happy Sunday morning. Thanks for waking up with us today. I'm Michelle Renee Quinn.
And I'm Jacob Montesano. You're watching Weekend Mornings. Today is Sunday, July 13th. It's going to be a pretty good Sunday. You know, most times when you look at the forecast for today, you'll say, oh my gosh, it's going to be perfect. But we are going to have that lower air quality, unfortunately.
Well, let's see what it looks like out there. Let's take a live look at our Janesville camera. Okay, you know, the clouds look nice. You can't really see bad air quality, right, Jacob?
Not yet, and especially not here in far southern Wisconsin. It's not too bad for Madison and surrounding areas. It is a lot worse further north, and you can see that with the current air quality right now. Moderate levels for Madison and surrounding areas, but further north, unhealthy for some, and then unhealthy completely in northern Wisconsin and the UP of Michigan, as well as a lot of Minnesota. So the further south you're located, the better it will be. It does look like areas, you know, south of La Crosse may stay in that moderate levels, but still just be aware of it throughout the day as the entire state is under an air quality alert. This is until noon on Monday, but you can see Illinois and Iowa not in those air quality alerts, which kind of suggests it is better the further south you're located. So looking at the wildfire smoke forecast, it's going to continue across our area throughout the day, but as we get into tonight and Monday, it'll move out of southern Wisconsin, but additional smoke will move into northern Wisconsin. But this smoke looks like it will kind of stay at the furthest south, central Wisconsin. So Madison and surrounding areas may see some better air quality during the afternoon and evening on Monday. And then this smoke does look to kind of clear out as we get closer to Tuesday. Now, current radar, not really seeing any rain. We're not going to see any rain all day. Temperature is very close to normal, and the highest day will be very close to normal as well. And as I mentioned at the top, it's going to be a perfect day outside the air quality, partly to mostly sunny skies, highs in the upper 70s to lower 80s, low humidity. Very nice out there. La Crosse will see similar conditions, but again, the further north you're located, the lower the air quality will be. So I'll continue talking more about the forecast for the upcoming work week coming up a bit later.
You're checking all my boxes. No rain, low humidity. Nice temperatures,
right?
Jacob, thank you. Well, this morning, the search for survivors of the devastating floods in Kerr County, Texas, has transitioned into a recovery effort. That's 1 week after the last survivor was found. At least 129 people died statewide and around 160 more remain missing. CBS News correspondent Wendy Gillette has an update from New York.
Dance and prayer
We thank you.
are helping a shaken community recover.
I just feel like there's people that need to be reached.
A small vigil was held in Kerrville, Texas, Saturday night for the victims, including at least 27 campers and counselors at Camp Mystic.
You can't fathom what people are going through that have lost those little girls.
Kerr County officials announced 7 more bodies were found. Over 2,000 people are searching for the missing. The piles of debris that go on for miles.
Looks like a bomb went off.
Local resident Marcy Heap is volunteering, helping the search teams combing the area along the Guadalupe River stay fed and hydrated.
A few days ago, I found a little flowered necklace wrapped up in a tree, and it got me. I broke down because I knew it belonged to one of those little girls from the camp.
I've never seen anything like it.
County officials thanked President Trump for his visit Friday, saying his support, as well as the heartbreak across the nation, are providing some comfort to a grieving region. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
The nearby community of Comfort had a warning siren system unlike Kerr County. There were no deaths in Comfort despite heavy flooding. A fire official says the system notified residents hours before the floods hit those catastrophic levels. Switching gears here to our continued coverage. Protesters outside of Disneyland in California are denouncing President Trump's immigration raids. They're also upset Vice President J.D. Vance is visiting Disneyland. They say he shouldn't be going to the happiest place on earth with his family, while the administration is tearing immigrant families apart.
It's important to speak up for those that can't. A lot of people are living in fear right now.
I have family and friends who are terrified to just exist, stepping out of their house.
The feds boasted last night, calling this week's massive immigration raid at the marijuana farm one of the most successful yet. But for relatives of the hundreds of people detained, it's the start of a terrifying ordeal. This morning, continuing our coverage, a bond is now set for the man suspected of killing a woman in Lake Delton last week. 23-year-old Brandon Bent has a cash bond set at $1 million. He's charged with first-degree intentional homicide and misdemeanor bail jumping. Both charges carry domestic abuse modifiers. The charges come after a woman was found dead at a home on Canyon Road last Friday. Bond was arrested a week ago today. In more local news this morning, Operation Fresh Start is getting an upgrade. The nonprofit receives a $50,000 grant through Spectrum's Community Center Assist initiative. Operation Fresh Start focuses on providing young adults ages 16 to 24 with pathways to self-sufficiency. That's through education, mentoring, and employment training. Now, the awarded funds will be workforce development training programs. In addition to the grant, Spectrum also donated 5 new laptops, 15 Chromebooks, and a smart board. And it's not a bird or a plane, but it's the latest Superman movie soaring towards the top of the box office. The movie grossing an estimated $56.5 million on Friday after the $22.5 million in Thursday previews. In total, it's expected to reach nearly $130 million this weekend. And this modern take on the 1938 comic icon just brings that fresh, optimistic tone. And it's already impressing audiences and the critics. It holds an 82% Rotten Tomatoes score.
I'm actually going to go see that later today with my wife. Yeah,
okay.
We're really excited. I've heard great things about it. And this movie, I don't know if you know, had a ton of pressure on it.
Really?
Because it's starting a new DC universe, because they scrapped the universe they had because a lot of the movies were not doing well. Obviously, they're trying to compete with Marvel.
Of course, and
so,
that's a tough competition.
Yeah, and they completely scrapped the old DCU, and they're like, all right, we're going to start over, and this is the first movie. And so it had a ton of pressure, and it seems like it delivered. I'll have more next weekend,
I want an update next week.
I'm watching it later today, though.
Yes, you'll have to let me know. Is that 82%, is it valid?
Yeah.
Does Jacob Monosato agree?
That's just the critics, though. I heard audience is like 96, so it's really high with the audience score as well.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
Still ahead, what a new study finds about the decreasing health of children in the U.S.
Plus, I'll continue having forecasts on the air quality and our next chance of rain next on Weekend Mornings.
Welcome back. We want to make sure you know exactly what to expect as you walk out the door this morning. Meteorologist Jacob Montesano is live in our studio here in Madison, helping you plan your day. Good morning.
Good morning, Michelle, Renee. We are going to see just about perfect conditions. If you look at your weather app and you see the forecast for today, it's hard to get better. But unfortunately, we are going to see some hazy skies as we've been talking about all day. And we are going to see the haze improve the next couple of days. And we also will see the sunny skies continue, but temperatures will also warm up a bit. Now, we're not going to see rain until Wednesday and Thursday, and that rain will cool the temperatures down once we get there. So looking at the rainfall forecast, just a few passing clouds here and there, pretty much completely clear skies by the time we get to the overnight hours. Maybe a few very light showers further northwest towards Monday morning, but that'll be just about it. We're going to continue to see clear skies for much of Monday and most of Tuesday as well. Initially, there was a chance of some storms. Right now, it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Could see some showers and storms late in the day Tuesday for far northwestern areas, but a lot of that is going to dissipate as it pushes towards southern Wisconsin. So expect dry conditions for today, tomorrow, and Tuesday. Looking at the temperatures, highs will be in the middle to lower 80s today. Again, lower air quality, but otherwise very nice. A little bit more cloud cover further south and east, and in general the air quality will be better the further south you're located. Overnight lows dropping into the middle and lower 60s under mostly clear skies. More sunshine for Monday, but Monday we are going to see those temperatures increase a little bit. Heat index values might get close to the lower 90s, but probably not going to get beyond that. So nothing brutally hot and certainly nothing we haven't seen before. And those temperatures will continue for Tuesday as well. But fast forwarding to Wednesday, this is our next better chance of rain, although it looks like the heaviest rain will kind of push off a little bit. Yesterday, I mentioned how the best chance of rain looks to be Wednesday. Now it looks to be Thursday, but some rain is still possible Wednesday, and especially Wednesday night, where we're going to see some showers and storms move through the area. And those showers and storms are expected to continue for Thursday and for Thursday afternoon as well, starting to clear out for Thursday night. And then those rain showers will certainly cool the temperatures down. Looking at the high temperature trend for the next 10 days, we'll be in the 70s for Thursday and Friday, maybe even Saturday as well, before they do warm back up into the 80s to start early next week. So looking at the full 7 to 10 day forecast, dry the next couple of days with warmer temperatures Monday, Tuesday. Much better chance of rain on Wednesday for you folks in La Crosse, and for Madison, the better chance of rain will be Thursday, but everyone will see those drop in temperatures, as highs will be in the 70s for Thursday, Friday, and again, maybe Saturday. And we are going to see rain chances increase again once we get to the weekend. So we'll have a little bit of a dry period Friday before we see rainy conditions over the weekend. So anyone who may have plans next weekend, not ideal conditions, but a lot can still change between now and then. So I would say no need to panic yet. Definitely these next couple of days will be a very welcoming break from the rain, especially after what we saw last week.
Absolutely. And you know, the sun out to start our week is just the perfect thing we need. Everybody can wake up with this happy Sunday and go into work tomorrow with a happy Monday. Yeah,
it will be a little bit on the warmer side tomorrow, but we've certainly seen worse, as I mentioned.
Yes, we have. Thank you, Jacob. Well, a concerning new study says the health of children in the United States has deteriorated over the past 17 years. Results are showing kids today are more likely to have chronic diseases and mental health problems. Stephanie Stahl has more.
There's fun and laughter on this playground, but new research says the health of children in the United States is declining.
It's really speaking to tremendous, languishing of our kids.
Dr. Christopher Forrest with Children's Hospital of Philadelphia was one of the authors of the study that compared pediatric death rates among high-income countries.
That a child in the United States was 80% more likely to die than a child in those 18 countries.
He says babies are most vulnerable, dying from things like premature births and SIDS.
Older kids are more likely to die by guns, 15 times more likely. They're 5 times more likely to die from an overdose. They're more likely to die from car crashes.
The study also found a growing number of health-related issues. Kids are now 15 to 20% more likely to have things like anxiety, depression, and sleep apnea than they were a decade ago. The research also found obesity rates for people under the age of 19 are up to 21%.
Obesity is the second most common cause of cancer in this country.
Dr. Forrest says the research did not find a single cause for the health decline of kids, but he says the issue needs urgent attention.
Thinking about the kind of play that kids are engaging in or not engaging in, the food environment, the school systems that kids are involved in.
The research did not account for socioeconomic differences, age, gender, or race. Stephanie Stahl, CBS News.
The research, which used electronic health records and international surveys, also found that American children have limited physical activity and growing feelings of loneliness. In more health news this morning, this year's measles outbreak is the worst since the disease was declared eliminated 25 years ago. The CDC says there have been more than 1,200 confirmed measles cases in the U.S. so far this year alone. A majority of them are linked to a large outbreak that originated in West Texas. 2025 has already surpassed the last record, which was from 2019. Measles is preventable with a vaccine. Being physically active as an adult lowers your risk of death by 30 to 40% later in life. The British Journal of Sports Medicine found people who were consistently active got the most benefit. But even people who don't exercise but started to and are becoming more active have a 20 to 25% lower risk of death. Researchers say their findings show it's truly never too late to start exercising. And loneliness doesn't just impact your mental health, but your physical health as well. A study by Howard University looked at data on nearly 50,000 people, that's in the U.S., and found people who reported always feeling lonely had 5 more days of poor physical health per month than people who said they were never lonely. Lonely people also had a 40% higher rate of depression. You're You're listening to Steal My Sunshine by Len. Brendan sent this in this morning. He says it's a good song for a rainy summer day. Send your weekend playlist pick to me on Facebook or email Mr. Quinn at WISC-TV.com and add playlist pick to the subject line. Tune in on weekend mornings to hear your song. We'll be back after this. Stick around.
Well, check this out. Today and tomorrow, back in 1936, mark the two hottest days on record for the city of Madison. July 13th, which is today, it got to 106 in 1936, and July 14th, it got to 107. So certainly going to be a lot cooler than that. And in general, it has been a lot cooler over the last 10 days. Now, I say cooler, it is compared to, where we could be over the course of the summer. Haven't had a 90-degree day in the month of July yet. We had 5 in June, but so far this month, our warmest temperature 89. And look at the last 6 days. Most of them, actually 7, excuse me, most of them are actually a little bit below normal, if not right near that normal. So it certainly hasn't been too bad at all temperature-wise here in Madison. And over the next 10 days, it's going to continue to not be too bad. Might be a little warm for Monday and Tuesday, but as I just showed you, certainly better than the 106 and 107 that occurred back in 1936 this date and tomorrow.
Wow, yeah. Honestly, these hot temperatures, they're just changing up. But you know what I like on a hot day?
A hot dog?
A hot dog! Exactly. I didn't know you were going to get it. Exactly. Jacob and I, we're both from the Chicago suburbs. We're transplants here. And we know how to enjoy a good old-fashioned hot dog. A Chicago dog, if you will.
Yeah, here in Wisconsin, though, it's a little bit different. One local museum says the Chicago-style dog just doesn't cut the mustard. From CBS Morning, here's Luke Burbank with all the fixings.
Can I have ketchup on there?
No.
If you thought maybe the Wiener Circle in Chicago was uniquely anti-ketchup,
No ketchup, man.
it turns out there's another pocket of ketchup resistance in a basement in Middleton, Wisconsin.
On our hot dogs, on our bratwurst, mustard is so cool.
Which is where we found Barry Levinson.
Never ketchup, they're against the rules.
Levinson is founder of the National Mustard Museum. In fact, he doesn't even like ketchup and mustard on the same table.
Like mixed together.
Yeah, mixed together, and I think that's a travesty.
That's, dogs lying down with cats, right? That's
Right, it's just...
a sin against nature.
Definitely.
Levinson, who quit his job in 1991 as an assistant attorney general,
Maui onion mustard,
to focus on his love of mustard.
Dijon mustards, they're never too strong.
Also runs the annual Worldwide Mustard Championships.
It's a good honey mustard. It's got some crazy dark umami going on there.
Which featured over 250 entries this year in every style and flavor you could imagine.
I've probably tasted at least 3,000 or 4,000 different mustards. There's everything from American yellow to Dijon to garlic mustards to herb and veggie mustards to fruit mustards, exotic mustards.
I'm feeling it all over my face.
There's a hot pepper category, which can be challenging for the volunteer judges. And also challenging for a TV correspondent.
Oh, yeah.
Who just thought he was going to taste some, Grey Poupon.
I feel it, in my scalp.
Yeah.
In case you were wondering, a mustard from Finland was crowned grand champion this year. As far as its history, well, mustard can be traced back to Roman times, but it was around the 13th century when the monks of Dijon, France, began making it the way we know it today.
What qualifies something as mustard in your opinion? Because some of these things are definitely pretty far afield from what I think of as a traditional mustard.
Well, they may not be traditional, but they have mustard seed and some other liquid, and that qualifies it as a mustard.
In more recent mustard history, Levinson's collection has grown to over 7,000 mustards and counting.
This is what we call the Great Wall of Mustard.
From all 50 states
I see you've got Humboldt. This is the county of my birth.
Oh.
And over 70 countries.
These are from England.
Showcasing all of mustard's versatile uses.
We've also got mustard-flavored soda.
Ooh, can't believe that didn't catch on.
Yeah.
And we mean anything mustard-related.
We have here a couple of scoops of mustard ice cream.
Yes, made for us on National Mustard Day.
Okay.
And it's sold out the last 3 years.
That is so much better than I thought it was going to be. That's really, really tasty. Very subtle with the mustard.
Mm-hmm.
Wisely.
Even after nearly 40 years, Levinson says he's still captivated by his beloved condiment.
And we have a surprise for you.
Okay. Oh, my goodness. The weekend show that cuts the mustard?
Yes.
That is high, high praise here at the National Mustard Museum.
And you deserve it.
Thank you.
I think that man takes the cake for the biggest mustard fan in the world.
Oh, yeah.
I actually have had honey mustard ice cream, and it was pretty good. It was pretty good.
Did it taste like honey mustard?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
And it was pretty good.
Did it smell like honey mustard?
I don't remember, but I actually I gave it a try, and I was like, I love honey mustard, so I had to give it a try, and it was pretty good. I don't know if I'd ever go back to it because I just think,
chocolate ice
vanilla
cream,
chocolate,
everything else.
But it was one of those things like you got to give it a try just to say you try it, and
okay.
it was pretty good. I can't remember where it was though. I literally
props
can't
to
remember.
you. I can't do other ice creams like that. Lavender, mustard. There are things that they should be condiments. They should be flowers. They should not be ice cream flavors.
Mustard flavored soda. That does not sound good.
Oh,
that
yeah,
does not sound good at all.
No,
I liked his
think I could try
reaction.
that.
I don't know how that can catch on.
Right. And I'm surprised it sold out 3 times the ice cream. I'm sorry, back to the ice cream. But yes, the
well,
pop
because like
too.
I said, he said the reporter said he liked the ice cream more than he thought, and I said the same thing. So maybe
I do
it's a
need
thing.
to try it. Maybe it's a thing. Let us know if you've tried it, you guys. Well, still ahead on Weekend Mornings, all your local events happening today, where and when you can go.
But before we head to break, here is a look at your gas prices. We're back after this.
Right now, trade tensions escalate as Trump threatens new tariffs on the EU and Mexico.
And we're going to be seeing very good conditions today, with the exception of some lower air quality. I'll have the full forecast on that coming up.
Plus, the events near you this Sunday, where you can get out of the house and be immersed into the community. Well, happy Sunday. Thank you so much for waking up with us this morning. I'm Michelle Renee Quinn.
And I'm Jacob Montesano. Today is Sunday, July 13th. And, if you look at your phone and you look at the forecast, every app will tell you it's going to be very nice.
A beautiful
with
day
the exception of that air quality. We'll get to that in just a moment first. But first, we're starting your day with some morning motivation. Today's quote is from Marianne Williamson.
She says children are happy because they don't have a file in their minds called all the things that could go wrong.
I always love the fact that children everywhere are just so carefree. And obviously, they don't understand all the troubles in life, but we could take some advice from them.
We could. We should have a file in our brains that says all the things that could go right.
Exactly. And you can kind of have that with today's forecast. There are going to be some right things going. Actually, most of the things in the forecast today will be going right. But as we look at the current air quality, not perfect across the area. Now, the further south you're located, the better it is. Areas to the north seeing unhealthy for some, and then further north than that, completely unhealthy. That's for northern Wisconsin, the UP of Michigan, as well as most of Minnesota. So definitely would advise those of you in northern Wisconsin to stay inside today. But again, southern Wisconsin, at least certainly right now, at moderate levels. And it's not expected to get too much worse throughout the day. You could see with the current air quality alerts, it is in effect for all of Wisconsin. But the fact that Iowa and Illinois are not in those air quality alerts does suggest that the further south you're located, the better it is. Now, as we take a look at that wildfire smoke forecast, it is going to kind of stick around throughout the day. And then for Monday, there's going to be more smoke moving back into the area, but it looks like that's mostly going to be for northern Wisconsin. So it is unfortunate for those of you in the northern portion of the state, but Madison and areas south, not going to see as bad of air quality then. And then this smoke will clear out of our area entirely by the middle of the week. At least that's what it looks like will happen. So looking at the current radar, not seeing any rainfall. We're not expected to see any rainfall throughout the day. Temperatures will be very nice as well. Upper 50s to lower 60s. It's going to be a very good forecast today with partly to mostly sunny skies. Highs in the upper 70s to lower 80s. Low humidity. Pretty much no chance of rain. And La Crosse will have a very similar forecast as well. So most days, it's hard to say. It's going to be it's hard to complain, but obviously, we are going to have that lower air quality as we continue talking about. It is going to be worse for those of you further north. So definitely the further north you're located, the more likely you should probably stay inside or at least not have prolonged outdoor activities.
Absolutely. Jacob, thank you. Well, early this morning, firefighters responded to a residential fire on Madison's east side. Multiple units responded to a fire around 3:30 this morning at a 4-unit condo on Glacier Hill. The fire was confined to 1 unit, and the first crews to arrive knocked down the fire. 2 people were injured, one treated by paramedics and released on scene, the other transported to a hospital. Fire crews were able to rescue 2 pet bunnies inside the home. Both were unharmed. 1 dog is missing, but the residence is livable. The cause of the fire is still being investigated. 7:32, you're taking a live look now at the White House, where topping our news this morning, President Trump escalates trade tensions with new tariff threats against the European Union and Mexico. The president blames trade deficits and what he calls unfair practices for the 30% tariffs on EU goods. Mexico faces the same rate after Trump accuses the nation of failing to stop drug cartels. The new tariffs take effect August 1st. Trump has sent similar threats to nearly 24 countries, including Canada, which faces 35% tariffs.
Canada is the only country on earth, along with China, that has imposed so many counter tariffs. So we have had already a very strong response.
The tariff announcements come during ongoing trade negotiations. Democrats counter that tariff threats create economic uncertainty for business owners and consumers. In Madison, the 67th annual Art Fair on the Square is on its last day today. The event was delayed until noon because of yesterday's storms, and that happened yesterday and the day before, but we're looking at a normal start today. Our Ellie La Liberté introduces us to artists both on and off the square.
Nearly 200,000 people are expected downtown Madison this weekend for both Art Fair on the Square and Art Fair off the square. But what's the difference?
I love to be at this fair.
All the way from Colorado.
It was only a 15-hour drive, so I decided to pull the trigger.
And as close as Middleton.
At 25 minutes.
On or off the square, downtown Madison is just filled with art.
So seeing so many people come out to support this type of event is really cool.
Art Fair on the Square is put on by the Madison Museum of Contemporary Art and hosts more than 450 artists from around the country.
Yeah, this is my first time out in Madison.
Like Tim Bachman from Colorado Springs.
I've been hearing through the grapevine and through other artists that on the circuit that this is a pretty good show.
But just around the corner is Art Fair off the square.
And this showcases over 100 Wisconsin artists.
Like Marin Massey from Middleton, who's been coming back to this event on and off for 6 years.
I think it's great to support local artists and a lot of familiar faces and get to see the artists that live around the area.
But for the hundreds of thousands in attendance, it's about one thing. The art.
My style is surrealism, kind of Salvador Dali inspired. Oil on wood, usually like this.
I do acrylic paintings on canvas. I love bright colors.
It's really fun exploring all of the local art going on, seeing the vibe. It's really nice to come out and support local artists.
Now this event continues Sunday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Reporting downtown Madison, Ellie La Liberté, News 3 Now.
Like we said, it is a normal start, so 10 a.m. to 5. Thank you again, Ellie. And this is Art Fair Off the Square's 45th year. Also happening this tomorrow, Noah's Ark Water Park is hosting a sensory day. Now, the event provides a more inclusive experience for families with individuals who have sensory sensitivities. Families can receive early access to the park, entering an hour before it opens, allowing them to enjoy attractions in a quieter environment. Noah's Ark is set to introduce the calming room. That's a quiet space that will offer peace, focus, and comfort. Guests can enjoy its features like soundproof wall panels, foam building blocks, weighted knot pillows, sensory toys, and more. Again, that sensory day is tomorrow. Still ahead, our Kyrion Lee is sitting down with SSM health professional Dr. Rupa Shah for this week's health conversation. It's about a hormone essential for daily function. Find out how imbalances can lead to health issues.
Track our next chance of rain and the full forecast for the upcoming work week after the break.
Stick around. We're back after this. People celebrating on Madison's east side at La Fête des Marquettes. This free, family-friendly Madison summertime staple includes live music, food, and community celebrations. We did go and catch up with some attendees yesterday enjoying the festival, and we asked them what their favorite part is.
I mean, it's the music. It's the fantastic bands that you get to see here. We've seen some really great performances here that you don't get to see all the time. Trombone Shorty has to be one of my favorite ones that came, and I mean, it's really cool, and it's free.
The people. This neighborhood is just a fantastic neighborhood with good, down-to-earth people who are super nice and laid back, and that's the whole vibe of the festival.
Yeah.
The festival will begin this afternoon, and it'll be back again for more music and other activities today. And if you are headed out to La Fête des Marquettes, the air quality isn't that great, and we're checking in to see if it's going to rain. Jacob Montesano has all the answers you need. Here he is.
Well, the answer, whether it's going to rain or not, is a very simple no. So that is the good news. But unfortunately, we are going to see that air quality the lower air quality, as you mentioned. Now, we're not going to see rain today, but that certainly was not the case last week. Here's a look at the amount of rain we've seen so far this month. About 3.5 inches of rain already. We average about 4.5 over the course of the entire month. So up until this point, we are certainly above normal. And the rain we've seen lately has brought this year very close, if not a little bit above what we normally see throughout the entire year. And that is after we've been playing catch up from the dry start. Now, we also are going to see more rain later this week. Dry today, tomorrow, and Tuesday, with the rain chances increasing Wednesday, and then especially Wednesday night into Thursday, possibly more rain for next week. And it does look like next week will feature some above average precipitation as we get closer to the end of July. And if you can believe it, we're almost at August in the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. Summer's moving by very quickly.
Way too fast. I can't believe it at all. All right, well, thank you, Jacob. Switching gears here, cortisol is a hormone that helps regulate stress, metabolism, and immune function. And while it's essential for daily function, imbalances can lead to health issues. Our Kyrion Lee joins us for this morning's health conversation with SSM Health family medicine physician and wellness coach, Dr. Rupa Shah.
Managing cortisol effectively can support our overall well-being. Dr. Shah is here now to explain how. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So, Dr. Shah, what is cortisol?
Yeah, so cortisol is a hormone that's released from our adrenal glands, and these are these tiny little glands that sit above our kidneys. And they're very important for basically our stress response. So when we're under a lot of stress, this is the hormone we need to kind of initiate that fight or flight response. And it just really kind of helps your body prepare for those events. It's also involved in metabolism and even immune function. So it's quite an important hormone for our bodies.
So what happens if cortisol levels are too high or maybe even too low?
Yeah, so we hear a lot about like these high cortisol states. Now, there's a few states that are really pathologic where we have really excess cortisol or really low cortisol. And excess cortisol would be a Cushing's syndrome, and a very low cortisol would be Addison's. What we're talking about in kind of our modern society where we're all under a lot of like chronic stress due to work and families is this where we're secreting just a little bit too much cortisol at an elevated level. And when that happens, it really can mess with our metabolism. It can create anxiety. It can raise our blood pressure. It can cause us to gain weight, especially kind of in this truncal kind of region as well. So that's why we're talking a lot about cortisol and ways in which we can manage our cortisol levels.
And speaking of managing, regulating, how can we do so naturally?
Yeah, so unfortunately there's no pill, as you mentioned. We have to do it naturally. And the best ways really are kind of going back to those basics: diet, exercise, sleep, but any way that you can lower the amount of stress in your life. And really good ways to do that are things like meditation, yoga, or a mindfulness practice, just ways that we can relax after a long day of work, or especially on the weekends after a long work week, ways that we can kind of reset that cortisol level and just bring ourselves down to kind of a more resting natural state is what we're aiming for.
All right.
Yeah.
All those tips and tricks to get us well balanced.
Yes, a little bit more zen is what we need. Yeah.
Yes, I think we all do.
Yep.
Dr. Shaw, and for those tips and tricks, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Wellness with Dr. Shaw.
Dr. Shaw, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks, ladies. Time now, 7:45. If you have a little kid turning 3 soon, please let us know. We would love to wish them a happy birthday, share their picture on TV, and celebrate with you guys. Still ahead on Weekend Mornings, coming up in sports, surprising and historical All-Star edition, how The Miz hopes to make magic in Atlanta. That's next.
And we'll have one final look at your forecast for the upcoming week after the break. Good morning, everybody. Here's a final look at the 3 things you need to know. Some hazy skies today, but it will be sunny for the next couple of days. And then the rain isn't going to return until Wednesday into Thursday. And even then, the rainfall is still a little bit uncertain for that time frame. But over the next couple of days, it's pretty certain that we're not going to see any rainfall. Maybe a few isolated showers here and there, but a lot of clear skies, maybe some light rain Monday morning for areas further northwest toward La Crosse. But throughout much of Monday, we're going to be pretty much completely sunny. And then we'll continue to see clear skies for Monday night and most of Tuesday as well. Initially, we thought we could see some storms Tuesday, but it looks like southern Wisconsin for sure will stay dry. Maybe some showers and storms late in the day Tuesday, but that does look to dissipate a little bit as it pushes to the south and east. So temperatures very comfortable, middle to lower 80s, plenty of sunshine, maybe a little bit more cloud cover further south and east, but still going to see comfortable temperatures. It will be warmer on Monday with highs in the middle to upper 80s, and heat index values may get to the lower 90s, but not too far above that. So definitely warm, but certainly not brutal. And as we look at the rain chances, we're going to continue to be dry until maybe Tuesday night, but especially later Wednesday and Wednesday night. That'll be the next good chance of rainfall. That's going to continue for Tuesday as well. Drying off for Friday before more rain returns for the weekend. And during that time frame, when we see that rainfall, the temperatures are going to fall with highs in the 70s. So pretty quiet the next couple of days. Again, today we'll see the lower air quality. The air quality will improve a little bit for Monday, and then it looks like it'll improve a lot for Tuesday. We are going to see those warmer temperatures. Some areas may see highs in the lower 90s on Tuesday, but then they will fall with highs only in the 70s for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And we are going to see the rain chances increase again once we get to the weekend and for early next week as those temperatures do look to increase. So overall, a very typical July forecast. Right now, we don't have any alert days in the forecast, and we're not expecting to have any alert days. Might see some severe weather on Wednesday and Wednesday night, but right now it doesn't look like we're going to see anything too major. Now here's morning sports with Andrew.
It had been 1 year, 9 months, and 25 days since Brandon Woodruff last pitched in Milwaukee. The date was September 17th of 2023 when he gave up 1 run over 6 innings against the Nationals. Fast forward to yesterday when he finally made his AmFam return against the Nationals of all teams. And Big Woo did Big Woo things. He struck out 10 batters in 4 1/3 innings, but his crew would still need a comeback. Trailing by 2 in the bottom of the 9th, and who else but Andrew Vaughn. In his 5th game since getting traded to Milwaukee, he drives in his 10th RBI as a Brewer. And more than that, nearly all of them have been super clutch. Ties the game at 5s, leaving Caleb Durbin to do the dirty work. He dinks a single through the right side, and the Brewers walk off Washington, winning their 6th game in a row. To call Jacob Misiorowski a phenom might be an understatement, but to call him an all-star, well, that would be accurate. After just 5 starts in the big leagues, the Miz is headed to the all-star game. Those 5 games are the fewest in MLB history before getting an all-star nod, breaking Paul Skeens' record set last year. Pat Murphy did confirm that the rookie sensation will pitch in the all-star game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm speechless. I mean, it's awesome. It's very unexpected, and it's an honor. It's been a long time coming, and I just want to honor the guys around me and you know, be a Brewer.
Speaking of All-Star games, the Northwoods League All-Star Game is returning to Madison this week for the first time since 2012. On Tuesday, the Northwoods League softball and baseball home run challenges kick off the festivities before Wednesday's All-Star Game at Warner Park. First pitch is at 6:35. And we finish with some basketball news. Cole Anthony, the longtime 5-year Magic guard who averaged 12.5 points over 5 seasons with Orlando, the former 15th overall pick, you know him. Well, he is headed to Milwaukee to join the backcourt alongside Kevin Porter Jr. That's your morning sports fix. Have a stupendous Sunday.
You too, Andrew. Now here's a look at what's to come on For the Record.
Coming up this morning on For the Record, a one-on-one interview with the Universities of Wisconsin President Jay Rothman. Plus, we dissect the education funding in the state budget with WIAC President Peggy Wirtz-Olson. And a behind-the-scenes look at Madison Alt Weekly Isthmus. That's ahead this morning at 10:30.
And finally this morning, we have a double bundle. A pair of twin sisters in Indiana have done everything together in life, including give birth.
The woman gave birth to baby boys just 1 day apart and at the same hospital. The moms now hope that they hope that their sons will grow up to be as close as they are. So take a look. This is Cooper. He was born on July 8th. And this is Archie. He was born on July 9th. They're cousins, and the mom sisters say having each other to lean on was just something so special. So what a wonderful little story.
That is very cute. I'm sure those two are going to grow up to be very close with,
they have to.
With how close their parents are, for sure.
Absolutely. I wish I had a twin. Oh, 2 Michelle Renees. Can you imagine?
I only know 2 set of twins.
Really?
In my life, one of my good friends, he has a twin, and then my cousin's husband, who I barely know, has a twin. That's it, though.
See, I know a lot of people with twins, but
I only know 2, so.
Another story for another time. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. We really appreciate you guys here. Coming up next is CBS Mornings, and our next newscast is tonight at 5:30. You can always find us streaming on Channel 3000.